Good evening and welcome to IITW Radio. It is 4/10 of 2019. Holy crap, the month's almost over with. Hello, Jolie. Jolie, you're always the first on here. I'm going to make sure you get something special. I don't know what it is yet. Probably a pizza. Hello, Gary. Tonight we have on the show Dr. Lee from River City Veterinary Hospital and Resort. Did I say that right, Dr. Lee?
Close enough. It's veterinarian.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Travis. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Got to say hello. Hey, Kim. Kim says she's there. Gary put in IGWT. I'm not sure what that means. Any idea? No. Marie? What is that? IGWT?
Honestly, don't know that.
IGWT? Jolie says good evening, everybody. So, Dr. Lee, how you been? I guess all right?
Yeah, Travis, I had a little run-in with a pit bull about, 5 weeks ago. But other than that, I'm doing great.
You know, we were going to have you on a couple weeks ago, and then all of a sudden you got attacked by, was it pit bull?
Yeah, little black pit bull.
Now, you told me something I'm completely amazed at. That's the first time you've ever been attacked.
Yeah, can you believe that? 30 years, first time.
That answered my next question.
What's that?
How long you been a veterinarian?
Yeah, 30, just over 30, yeah.
Here's this list of questions if you guys want to read it for tonight. There you go.
I think I can handle those questions.
That's the same one that I use on everybody. Yeah, Kim, you got to get your cooler. I still have it here in the studio. So get with, what I'll do is we'll contact you after the show and also have a shirt. Couple of shirts to give away from Dr. Lee tonight. Okay, somebody already put we have it on our shelf. That was me. Anyways, so 30 years, and that's the first time you've ever been attacked by a dog.
Yeah, at work, we used to do a lot of things with dogs and occasionally would get in an altercation. But basically, I can read them pretty well when I go into the clinic room, but this one gave no warning.
Okay, I've seen dogs that are pretty angry, but I've seen some really pissed off cats.
Oh yeah, cats. We expect it with cats.
I mean, we were up there the one day. I was getting the 2 dogs done, and in this one room, it sounded like all hell breaking loose. And one of your nurses came out, and she goes, "That cat is angry."
I think that was the cat that climbed the curtains.
Yeah, she's like, "Don't go in there." Next room. How you doing, Jim? But anyways, it's on us money, okay? I got it now. That's what it stands for. Hello, Carl. Carl does a lot of race car stuff, and James Holt. James is one of my favorite firefighters. He's listening tonight. Ann Sanders writes in, outside Pharaoh cats are losing their hair. What could that be? They stopped popping in with the questions already.
Oh, good. Well, I deal with them all day, every day, so go away. I think, we always look at fleas first because that's usually our culprit. But, it could be a number of things, but that's where we start. Could be a thyroid problem, could be allergies, but we start with fleas, get rid of them, then start looking at allergies.
Yeah. We haven't had that many cold snaps this year. Do you expect the flea population to just be outrageous this year, or?
Yeah, it's bad already.
It is. Now I know my dogs. You've got them on. Okay, Kim Rose, where is the vet located at?
That's a good question. It used to be called Krill and Palm, so it was on the corner of Krill and Palm. But the hurricane wiped it out a year and a half ago, so didn't wipe it out, but damaged the building. So we moved to St. John's. It's right by the college. Address is 6050 St. John's, just past the college, across the street.
Yeah, if you guys are coming up 19, what you're going to do is buy, is that Woody's there?
Yep.
Barbecue? Woody's, you owe me for a plug. You turn by Woody's, and you're going to head toward the college. And Chris is getting ready to put up some information on the screen about it right now. As soon as you turn by the turn to go toward the college or toward the hospital, the back entrance, you go down and you're just through the four-way stop, right? There we go.
No, it's a real stoplight at the college, and then we're 1 block past that.
Okay. Yeah, and you're right there on the right-hand side. You can't miss it. There's a big sign sitting out there. And is that your dog that's in the advertisement?
No.
No?
I have bulldogs.
I didn't know. A lot of vets have a lot of animals.
Yeah.
How do you deal with bulldogs? This thing slobber all the time.
Oh yeah, I love the bulldogs. They got quite the personality, and they're not too high maintenance. You know, they sleep a lot, and that's kind of at my stage of my life. I don't want one that's too hyper. So they're fun. They're a lot of fun.
Pat Dunn just joined in. Yeah, I know. We had a couple cats that we've adopted because people drive by and throw them out. Our kittens, I think there's like 4 or 5 next door now. But I know I've tried to rescue a couple before, and it seems that the fleas got them when they were little bitty tiny kittens. So what do they do in cases like that? I mean, what do you do when the little kittens have fleas crawling all over because it makes them anemic, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it can really take a toll on them, makes them anemic in a hurry, and the cats are so sensitive to the parasiticides. So any type of insecticide you can't really use. So you use a cat flea shampoo or just Dawn just to get the fleas off of them is the first step.
I know I've used Dawn before on I use that to wash my dogs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you can see when, well, of course you put this on that new flea control, so I don't see them anymore. When I give them a bath, usually the bathtub would be loaded with fleas. And that's when I try the flea collar. Now, flea collars and stuff, do they actually work? Or I've never had very much luck with them.
No, there are some really high-dollar flea collars, but basically they keep the fleas off of their head. Unless they're a really short animal, it doesn't get the other end.
So what do you do in that case? Is there like a flea control? I know there's all kinds of flea controls. I see the Brevecta commercials and stuff, where you have the big heavy-duty biker with the little tiny chihuahua.
The chihuahua, yeah. Yeah, no, there's several different products. Some work better than others. The Advantage Multi works well on cats. The dogs, we go for more of the chewables with the NexGard or Simparica or Brevecto, things like that. So the cats are just more sensitive, so you have to be careful with them. Dogs are pretty tough. They can handle most of those.
Liz wrote in and said it's across the street from Putman Radiology.
Yeah.
I should have known that. Okay, call Putman Radiology, Liz, and tell them they owe me for a plug. You got questions coming in. We're on different websites and stuff. We're on IITWradio.com. We're on Facebook. Hello, Kathy. She's my favorite airline stewardess. She's all the way up in, I think, Virginia now. She was up in Maine. But you guys and gals, we got comments coming in off of YouTube, IITW Radio on Facebook, IITW Radio website, IITWradio.com, and the Putman Way, where Tammy's over there handling a bunch of stuff. So some of the questions are on here I can't see. So if I miss your questions, I'm sorry. Kick over to Facebook and ask me, or the staff will try to get them into me. But I got other questions coming in, Dr. Lee. It says, heat and proper care in heat. And then I'll let you answer them in whatever order you want to. Leaving pets in vehicles, what happens to the pets? And senior pets, do they still need heartworm prevention and vaccines?
Very good questions. Obviously, the heat, you don't ever leave a animal in a vehicle unless the engine's running, the AC is on. That car can heat up quickly, and once the animal gets to 105 degrees, their brain starts to fry. So, don't even in a few minutes you can cause damage. So, and brachycephalics, or some of the dogs with heavy coats, they can get hot in a hurry. So, don't leave them in the car. But if you do, make sure the AC's on.
Now, I've seen some of these little fans that they have that they can put in windows, and I've seen them on infomercials and stuff. Do those things even work? It's supposed to reduce the heat by like 20 to 30%, but that's still not a whole lot with the heat in Florida.
Yeah, it's not close out in Florida. maybe keeps your windows from cracking, but it's certainly nothing close to what a animal should handle. It's still too hot.
Yeah, Skidmore likely says he's hi. He's my vet. Very caring, very gentle, and very thorough. Desiree just joined in. Kim Peoples wrote, I have 2 Jack Russells, Karma and Justice.
I like that.
3 outside cats, Larry, Daryl, and his other brother Daryl, and my grand dog, Chloe, English Bulldog.
Oh, there you go. Good name for an English Bulldog.
That sounds like that's some. That's a whole lot of veterinarian stuff.
How do they keep Daryl and Daryl straight?
One's sterile, the other's sterile.
You had another question that I forgot to answer. What was that?
Senior pets, do they still need heartworm prevention and vaccines?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I just dealt with one today. The dog was 15 years old and came in for vaccines, and you don't know what the condition is like inside their body. Things change fast, and that's pretty old for a dog. So we got to look at their kidneys, liver, pancreas, and the function of their organs. Even check their heart, because the one today actually we had to pre-treat with Benadryl because it always has some kind of a reaction to the vaccine. So older ones, especially if they're outside, of course they need to have vaccinations, but you have to be very careful and get their blood drawn and have the vet check them out before the vaccines, just to make sure they don't have a reaction.
Desiree wrote in, do you do discounts for multiple animals?
Yes, we do. That's a good question. I asked that question myself last week, and they said you need to bring in multiple animals like you do, Travis. Bring them in at the same time, but make sure you make an appointment for more than one animal. But yes, we do discounts. If you have 20 of them at home, we had somebody bring in 6 at one appointment this afternoon.
Okay. Kim wrote in that Daryl and Daryl, they look the same. They both come running when she calls them.
Well, that makes it easier.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody, and then, yeah, because Desiree is a rescue. So when she comes in, I know Desiree always has like umpteen million cats. I don't know how many. What's the limit they can bring in at one time?
For an appointment?
Correct.
It depends. If you give us notice, you can bring in as many as you want.
I wouldn't tell her that. She's like 1,000 cats that she rescues.
That's the problem. Is how do they bring them in? They have harder work than I do.
She said hard to bring in 13 dogs at one time.
Yeah,
I told you. But she's always saving animals. I mean, I've known Desiree for quite a few years, and she will go rescue them when they've been left out in the sun and they have no water, or they've been ran over. She's the first one that'll be there at a car wreck to grab one when she hears one that's gotten hit by a vehicle, and she's all the time trying to nurse them back. I think she tried to give a goldfish mouth to mouth one time.
How'd that go?
What about, let's see, Gary wrote, what about catch, fix, cut ears, and release for CTS?
Yes, if you know, a lot of feral cats, the animal control can catch them. They have programs where they can get them spayed and neutered and put a little tattoo on their belly so that when they get loose, they notch their ears or something, a way to identify that they've already been fixed. So if they get caught again, they don't get spayed twice.
Skidmore wrote, very responsible on cost and works with multiple pets. So I know when my dogs are in there, I've got 2 of them in there at the same time. Well, last time I had Louie, which is my daughter's dog, and then I had Cracker, which is not a redneck name. I'm going to straighten something out here now. I've had a few people ask me, and then I remember this black couple was sitting there, and my dog, I said, come here, Cracker. And they, but that's a racist thing. No, the reason my dog, I'm not a redneck. I don't dip or chew. I don't have any major appliances sitting in my yards. I don't have any broke down vehicles. I don't sit on my porch drinking Budweiser. Not that I have anything against it. I just don't do that. Misty just joined in. But my dog's name is Cracker because when Cracker was 7 weeks old, I was bringing her back from North Carolina, and she got in the back seat of my truck, and she ate 2 saltines, sleeves of saltines in the plastic, the box, everything. And I had to take her. Her original name was Brandy, but when I took her to the vet, my daughter Cheyenne started calling it saltine cracker, and cracker just stuck. So there we are. And then honey bun is because that's all the dog would eat when it was little, was honey buns. So
Honey Bun is a sweet dog.
oh yeah, she's a sweet one. Cracker's overweight. And another thing you told me, that's another thing. Now I'm having problems with this. You told me my dog is fat. You know, I think it hurt her feelings, but she's fat. I tell her she's fat. I try to put her on a diet, and she will not shut up. I keep caving in. I can't get her to lose weight because at 2 o'clock in the morning, the only way she will shut up is to put food in her bowl. And she had that, what was that? She had that big pus bag in her that got cut out.
She had a pyometra.
Yeah, pyometra. Mm-hmm. It was 5 pounds, and that got cut out. And ever since then, of course, she's 14 now, but ever since that got cut out, she started putting on weight. Is that typical for that, or is that just with her age?
Yeah,
or?
after they get spayed and neutered, they do tend to gain a little weight, but it sounds like she has you trained pretty well.
Yeah, she looks like a big fat tick. Like she's overeaten, and her head is tiny now, and her whole body is swelled up. But I mean, is there any way to like curve it? I mean, you know, if you got to put them on a diet, I know I've changed the food and did that stuff you suggested. Now it seems like she eats twice as much.
Yeah, the satiety food, they can eat the same amount but less calories like we do. We eat low calorie food, giving them healthy snacks and chewing on bones and things like that that have no calories is a good way to keep them busy.
Well, you told me I need to get her more exercise, but now I throw the ball or the rope, and she sits there and looks at me like I'm stupid. She just will not go get it anymore. She lets Honey Bun go get it, drops it, and then she picks it up and hands it to me.
Sounds like a smart dog.
Yeah, she got me trained. What was the other question I was getting ready to answer or ask you? I've got my answer board coming in. Proper vaccines, age for pets.
Well,
I think it was for puppies.
the puppies, yeah. So they generally start at 6 weeks. 5 weeks is a little early if they've been nursing on the mom. There's antibodies from the milk. So generally around 6 weeks is when they should start, and then every 3 to 4 weeks after that they get a booster of the distemper, hepatitis, lepto, and parvo. They get 3 of those in a series every 3 weeks, and then a rabies after that. So somewhere around 4 months they get a rabies shot.
These are pretty good questions. I never even thought about any of these. It says cats need heartworm prevention like dogs.
Cats do get heartworms, but not very many people put them on heartworm prevention. They seem to tolerate it pretty well, but if there's a health problem, they should be tested.
Okay, so very good. What is that, some of the symptoms of it?
Coughing, exercise intolerance, things like that. Maybe abnormal appetite, lethargy, things like that.
Okay. Another question is, how do you get your cat to quit hacking up hairballs where you wake up and step on them in the middle of the night? Now, that's a good one, because a cat seems to do it every time when I get up in the middle of the night. I wake up and I step into something wet and squishy, and it's like, oh, crap, not again.
Yeah, so if you give them a little bit of Vaseline on their tongue, like once a week, just a small amount, or molasses or something like that, that's kind of lubricating, it'll pick up some of the hair in the stomach and pass it through.
Let's see. Kim wrote in and said, what can put on the cats that are partly feral? They were abandoned. What can I put on them? They dug off the flea collar.
Yeah, like we said earlier, the flea collars don't really do a lot, and some of them actually could be dangerous because they could get hung up on a fence or something. So you do a topical treatment, and we even have topical treatments for worming. So if you have a pretty wild cat that you can't stick a pill in their mouth, there's topicals for that too.
I am not trying that again. I got punctured. I'd rather get bit by a dog. She said, Dawn, water, me, 3 male cats ain't gonna work. Is there anything else?
You mean to get rid of the fleas?
Yes.
Yeah, you can do a topical spray that would do it. Then you don't have to give them a bath. Cats are not very good at taking baths.
Okay. Let's see. Desiree wrote in and said, one more question. I have a very aggressive, great PYR, I guess.
Pyrenees.
Who is 180 pounds. Good God.
You put a saddle on that one.
Yeah. You just ride that thing into the vet. He had to be sedated to get his shots. Would he need the same thing need to happen to be neutered?
Yeah. So there's pills like trazodone or acepromazine you can give an hour or so before they head to the vet. Even cats, you can give a pill. Gabapentin works great on cats, just one pill, and it calms them down before they get to the vet. So always talk to your veterinarians. 100 milligrams for a cat usually does, unless it's a real big cat. 100 milligrams gabapentin really chills them out. Doesn't do much for dogs, but for cats it's great.
Kim said, okay, great, thank you. And Miss Debbie just joined in. How you doing, Miss Debbie? I'm still waiting on my lasagna, by the way. Another question is, can cats take regular antibiotics, just like dogs?
Yeah, cats, of course, they don't do well with Tylenol and things like that. But antibiotics, we give the same ones to cats. There's a really good injectable for cats, and antibiotic. Then you don't have to give it a pill once or twice a day. So that's what I would use. But Clavamox and things like that work on cats too.
Yeah. Another one is the cats, when the pollen count is real high like it is now, and they're going on to say about they have pollen all over their vehicle, the cats and dogs seem to be sneezing. Will it hurt to give them Benadryl for that, or is there a special cat and dog antihistamine or anything like that they could give their animals, or anything you recommend?
Mm-hmm. Yes, there is a thing called Vetadryl. It's a smaller, like 5 or 10 milligrams, so for a small dog or a cat. But for bigger animals, you can give 1 milligram per pound. So usually the little pink ones that people take are 25 milligrams. So a 25-pound dog can have one of those.
Desiree put in about that 180-pound dog. She said, is there a bobcat nearby to help load and unload? I don't know if she's talking about a real bobcat or a bobcat that... Hello, Jessica. Jessica just joined in. Okay. So, now we're talking about cats being in there. When people bring their cats in, I know some dogs, do they need to muzzle them before they bring them in? Or do they just bring one in and go, here, Doc, here he is? Because I'm seeing you do some fancy work with those little strap things when I was walking by a door. You just, I don't know how in the hell you do that. It must have been at a dog rodeo or something.
Yeah, most dogs are pretty easy to handle. Cats are very unpredictable, and you can't muzzle them. They do have like a ball that you stick over their head, kind of like a space helmet. But for dogs, before my bite, I didn't believe in muzzling too much, because sometimes it does get them more scared and anxious to put a muzzle on them. But I think it's safer for the people, and sometimes the animal even will bite the owner. So I think if your dog's nervous, get him used to a muzzle, and that's a safe way to go for everyone.
Debbie wrote in and said, I have a small dog, and every time he comes in from being outside, he can't stop chewing his paws, and I never see fleas on him. What could it be?
Yeah, excellent question, and think about that timing. There's a lot of pollen outside. It could be from grass pollen. It could be pine or oak or something like that. So for dogs, it depends on where you live, but you could have like a little pool. We use a little baby pool and walk the dogs through it, wipe their feet off before they come in the house. That gets rid of a lot of pollen. And think about it, if they lick that pollen off their feet, it's going to go down their stomach and then could actually start an allergy. So it's a good idea to do that. But if there's no fleas, quite likely they have allergies to the environment and they need some Apoquil or some other medicine for allergies.
Now, if somebody's going to bring their, okay, Susie wrote in and said, my Great Dane Caroline loves Dr. Lee.
Caroline, hey, I know Caroline. That one you can ride.
Great Danes, those things are like mammoth. They're not even shouldn't be considered a dog.
Caroline's really cool. Had to tack down her stomach so it wouldn't flip when we did the spay, I believe. She's a cool dog.
Now, the thing with animals coming in, I know a lot of people have their lawns and stuff sprayed, or they go out and put fertilizers down and stuff. How long did they, Debbie said thank you, by the way. How long did they need to wait when they, say you go out and you're going to put a turf builder on your yard or anything? Are the fertilizers just as bad as the insecticides, or how long did they need to wait? Should they water it in, or?
Generally, we recommend that they go 48 hours before you let the animal walk on it. Generally, the insecticides are the dangerous ones. The pesticide, the fertilizers, not so much, because they don't really like the taste. They won't ingest them very much. So, but they can't. The insecticides are more dangerous. So, wait 48 hours before you put them out on the yard.
Okay, and somebody wants to know, Desiree wants to know, what are your office visit fees?
Well, it depends on what they're in for. Generally, I think a major examination is about $35 to give them a complete physical. But, sometimes there's a short exam and there's other rechecks and things like that. So some of the prices change, but a general physical is right around $35.
Okay. That's not bad.
No.
I've been nailed by a few doctors before. I know. I never mind.
No, my copays are more than that.
Oh, good God. I know. I couldn't figure it out because I walked into, they were going to do a colonoscopy on me. And it's like, you're charging me $600 to shove your finger up my butt? I don't think so. I'm out. Oh, good God. I know you've got more questions over there.
Angie,
you better stop me right now.
Angie's writing down some good ones.
You better stop me right now because I got a whole bunch of, does kitty malt actually work, or are those products a waste of money? You had mentioned Vaseline. What about coconut oil?
Coconut oil's good. Omega-3 and 6 fatty acids in it, and it's very digestible. It's good for their coat. It might help a little bit, the Vaseline or some of the special petroleum-based things work better on hairballs, but coconut oil would work.
Okay, milk bones work great on dogs' teeth. What do you suggest for cats? Now, that's a good question because you guys also do dental stuff there, right? Most people don't. Hello, Austin. Austin Neal's one of my favorite country singers. This guy is incredible. You got that's the one I'm going to let you go see him when he comes down here this time. I
want to see him, definitely.
He was just over at, he's been in a couple of places down here, Renegades and a couple other places. But you guys also do, a lot of people don't think about it, but we all need dental work, but our pets need dental work as well. So, I mean, that's a good question. If you got milk bones for dogs, how do you keep your cat's teeth clean? Is just if they're on soft food.
Yeah, so you just hit the nail on the head right there. The best recommendation for cats is to give them dry food. The dry food scrapes the plaque off their teeth and is better for them than the soft food. So when cats have bad teeth, it's usually because they're on strictly soft or wet is what we call it. The dog's actually one of the best things to give them a soup bone or it's a beef leg bone. They can spend hours trying to get the marrow out of the middle of it, and that cleans their teeth, and it doesn't splinter, so they don't swallow any of it.
At what age should they? I mean, is there a certain age you should quit doing that? I know my dog's getting 14, and she still thinks she's 20. Well, in dog years she'd be ancient, but she still thinks she's 2 years old. I mean, she's going to start losing her teeth here pretty soon. Is there anything that could supplement, like boiling the bones so I can make them soft? Or
yeah, I was actually just looking at a product. You're talking about the older geriatric dogs and how to keep their teeth clean?
Yeah, she might have just heard you. I don't think she's in the studio, though.
Yeah, the most important thing is as the dogs get older, have their teeth checked by a vet, and you clean their teeth just like people get their teeth cleaned. Once a year if they're eating any the soft food or they're not chewing on bones to keep them clean. What I run into a lot is that we look at their teeth and they look pretty good from the outside, and then when we do the dental x-rays, some of the roots have decayed, and so you can't always tell the teeth by just looking at them. If you look at them and they're smelling bad and they look bad with plaque, it's time to go see the vet. We offer twice a year a 15% discount on dental cleanings, and one lady brought her two dogs in. She has 3 actually that she does religiously. She does them once a year, and her dog's teeth look great. And she actually told me about a product that she uses. Her husband and her son are dentists, so let me see if I can find the name of it. But you can put stuff in their water that kind of helps to dissolve it. It's a seaweed-based stuff. Let me see. Here it is. Plaque Off. I think it's a good name, huh? Plaque Off. Somebody tell you to plaque
I gotta
off.
leave that one alone. Hey, go plaque off, buddy.
ProDent for animals. It gets supposedly it helps with bad breath, tartar, and plaque. She swears by it. She just adds a little bit of this seaweed type stuff to the dog's food, and her dog's teeth are good. But like I said, she brings her dogs in. She has a special retrievers, and she brings them in once a year for their teeth to be cleaned.
Now, how does that work if they lick their butt all the time? I mean, how long does that stuff work to keep their breath fresh? Because my dog seems to have a passion. I took it to my ex-wife's house one time. I went down for my kids I think it was for Christmas or Thanksgiving, and she's like, "Why is your dog always licking his butt?" And I'm like, "It's trying to get the taste of your food out of his freaking mouth."
It's pretty bad.
Kim wrote, "I heard you can." I'm sorry about that, Teresa. My kids are over 18 now. I ain't got to worry about paying child support. She said, "I heard you can use lime down to kill the fleas and mosquitoes. Is that okay? And will it harm them?"
Well, it does work. I have to give you that. It will actually kill parasite eggs as well, roundworms, hookworms, whipworms. But it is a little bit caustic. It's a very high pH, I believe, and if they get it on their feet, it would cause blisters and irritation. So be careful with that. There's some other stuff that's better called diatomaceous earth. It looks kind of like a dirt. You can buy it any of the major big brand stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, Tractor Supply. Diatomaceous earth, you can actually sprinkle it on your animal's fur, put it on the ground, put it on your carpet. It's very inert, and it will dry up the insects like fleas and eggs, parasites. So that's a good thing to use around your house. It's better than lime.
We used to use boron back years ago. Get borax.
It's the same thing as lime.
Okay, so boron that cost me a fortune to go out and do my yard. I'm out there dumping soap powders all over my yard, but I never had any fleas. And we actually used it. Now I've got wooden floors, but we used it on the carpets and stuff and then vacuumed it out. The only problem was when the Stanley steamer came in. By the way, Stanley steamer, you owe me money for the plug. Is that it would foam. The carpets would keep foaming.
Yeah, no, it's not good stuff to get on your feet or the animal's feet. So it does work, but like I said, diatomaceous earth, or there's special stuff you can buy to put on a carpet. But for treating the yard or where the animals lay, like out a patio or something, diatomaceous earth works. Yeah, that's not very expensive either. That's
what I put in my water treatment thing. I used to get it from the pool supply place. Desiree says you'll be seeing a lot of us, Doc. Sue just joined. Jenny, are rawhides safe? Now that's a good question, because I used to give my dog rawhide bones, and then I've seen on the internet where a couple of vets say, it's not good because if they eat too many of them, they just sit there in their stomach.
Well, think of this. You know what rawhide is made of?
Yeah. So
it's leather. So basically, just think if you chewed up a piece of leather and it went down your stomach, would it be very good? I don't think so. It's rawhide. I don't know why they sell it at stores, even pet stores. It's the number one problem with intestinal blockage in small dogs is rawhide. Either that or bones, like pork chop bones or chicken bones. Don't give any of that stuff. I would never give rawhide to a dog unless they only chew it up into small pieces and you take it away before they swallow it. But not a good idea.
I'd seen one of the comments: are chicken bones worse than turkey bones, or can you give a dog turkey bones?
No bird bones, zero, or even pork, because like rib bones. If you have some baby back ribs, don't give those. They will splinter and they will poke a hole in the intestinal tract.
And that's going to cost you big bucks to get that redone.
Yep.
No, that could kill them pretty quick too. Right?
Kill them if you don't get them into the vet. They'll die.
Melba said, "Good evening. Hello, Doc." Terry wrote in and said, "Thank you for coming to Palaca. Very pleased with your services. Need you to be able to help with horses." Now, that's a good question. Do you help with horses at all?
No. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a large animal vet, work on horses and cows and things, and that was kind of my dream. But it gets to be a little rough. It's hard to make a living, and it's a little dangerous. So, not too many large animal vets. And you're right, we do need a large animal vet here in Putnam County. I only been here a year. Our goal is to build a barn out in the back on our property to be able to do large animals in the future. But right now, I think Shelton or some of the others take care of the large animals.
Yeah, I need someplace because I've got 2 horses and a jackass. And okay, here's a great question from Ariel. It says, "When on a walk, does the pavement burn my pet's feet?"
Oh, you mean on like a blacktop or a sidewalk?
When blacktop, I guess.
Well, their pads are pretty tough, but they have to be acclimated or conditioned for it. But you try walking on it in bare feet and see. It's if they have tough pads, they can handle it. But yes, they do get hot.
Yeah, because I know in the summertime, I mean, I've done it before, and I've done it on some of the radio shows and stuff. Go out and crack an egg on the blacktop, and even on the sidewalks, and it'll sit there and sizzle and fry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to eat it because I don't know who's been spitting on there, but that's some stuff for Cletus. By the way,
where is Cletus?
Cletus is going to be visiting your office pretty soon.
I can't wait. That's part of why I came here. I wanted to meet Cletus.
David just joined in. David is one of my brothers when I was in the children's home. Let's see. Ed, is it safe to give my dog the food that is bad in the refrigerator or raw meat? That's a good question.
Yeah, no, I thought about that last night. I had left my my chicken wings and my pizza out on the counter when I went to work and didn't eat it. And I got home and the dogs were saying, "Hey, I'll eat that." And don't give it to them because the bacteria that are in there is bad for people and it's bad for animals. So no, it's spoiled food is not good to give because then you end up with a dog that has pancreatitis and vomiting and diarrhea. So no, not a good idea.
Okay, my dogs love cheese, and they if I open a wrapper, they can hear it from 100 yards away. I mean, just barely. I try to open up cheese. Does that bind the dogs where they can't crap?
Well, that'd be a lot of cheese, but no.
Oh, my dogs eat a lot of cheese. Trust me.
Maybe that's why they're overweight. No,
they eat everything.
Cheese. We kind of reserve cheese and peanut butter and things like that for giving pills and special treats for training. So cheese is okay, but don't give too much of it for them. No, it won't constipate them.
What is the best way? Because like I say, I've had dogs all my life. I've gotten, got horses, cats, everything. Giving my dogs a stinking pill, especially Cracker, she can taste it. Before I even throw it, I can take and toss it in the air, and she'll gulp everything down. But I put a pill inside of the one thing, and I mean, I'll wrap that sucker in cheese. I'll shove it in a hot dog. I've even bought the pill treats where you shove them in the middle. Mm-hmm. She will just and spit it out every time.
Mm-hmm. No, well, you think about their sense of smell is 10 times greater than ours, and so they can detect a pill, easily in some food. So that's why I say save that cheese and that peanut butter for special occasions like giving treats, because then they might just gulp it down before they have a chance to taste it. But once you give, pills once or twice a day, they get wise to it. We have chewable pills now. I can't promise that the chewables are every dog is going to take them. So if you get the non-chewables and you put it in a treat, you're probably better off. But some dogs actually like the chewables, like the Heart Guard and Next Guard. Most dogs will eat those. So you have to disguise it or just stuff it down their throat the old-fashioned way. It's very safe to do, and as long as you don't get bit, you're okay.
Here's a really good one for you right here. You're going to love this one. Your wife says, Andrea Lee says, please tell Doc Lee his wife is listening from Virginia Beach with his new granddaughter and family. He's such an amazing veterinarian. Uh-oh. You want to give a shout out to your wife, and you better tell her how much you love her. By the way, ladies, he is happily married.
Hey, how you doing, babe? Take care of that granddaughter of ours. I hope, say hi to Mikey and Chelsea for me. Yeah, thanks for checking in.
So you better be glad you said that. I just saved you 50% off my next bill, buddy.
I paid her to say nice things about me.
Now I wished I had his picture. I have it in my phone, but I'm not going to put it up. Or should I? One of Doc Lee and his wife.
Oh, go ahead. It's all right.
Where's that?
I could hang out with Cletus if I dressed like that, couldn't I?
You guys have got to be the funnest couple in the world. God, I'm gonna. Your wife's in Virginia, right?
Virginia Beach.
Okay, how long is she gonna be there?
Our first granddaughter.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you.
Granddaughters are the best.
2 weeks ago.
Granddaughters are the best. I'm telling you right now, they are the best. Till they hit about 13. I mean, if you're a parent, you know. Little girls are hard to raise after 13. The hormone fairy comes to town, and it's all over with, God forbid. Little boys are easy, but we're not going to get into that. Xbox and a couple other things, and we're good to go. But you guys seem like a fun couple. I can't wait till Austin Neal comes down and you guys go over there, because we'll show up in a Cletus outfit, and you guys have got to check this outfit out. Did you find it?
I sent it. It should be there. Give it a second. Might have to refresh it.
So I'm the straight guy. My wife is the one that's the character. So it's kind of like you and Angie, and so she's the one that's the character, and she's the one that keeps me going.
Okay, here it is right here. Let's put this one up first. Man, you got a pretty wife.
She is beautiful.
She's.
There's a picture of you and your lovely wife.
There's Andy or Andrea. Yeah.
Now here's where I get in trouble, and I want you to explain this picture to me. Is her name Audrey?
Andrea.
Andrea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't have it up here in front of me. Andrea. Okay, let's pop this other picture up here, Chris. Okay. Now, what was behind this?
Well, so you
guys look just like Dog the Bounty Hunter.
That's what the That's what the plan was. One of my employees said, "Hey, why don't you and your wife, come hang out, and we'll go do something downtown on Halloween." And so I said, "Okay." And so I assumed that we were dressed up, and we got to their house, and we just threw this together that day. And it ended up that we get to his house and they're not dressed up. We were all going to go out for some drinks and maybe dancing, and so Andrea and I were dressed up like Dog and Beth, and we ended up going to a couple places. And they said, "Hey, let's go to the costume contest," and so we went there Halloween night and took second place in the costume contest. So that was kind of a fun evening, but that's nothing compared to Cletus. I think Cletus has got a lot more personality, but that's me when I'm playing the wannabe.
Yeah, he just came in the studio a few seconds ago, but you got a question up here. I'm going to let him read in just a few seconds from Rebecca. But so you guys showed up, and then showed up to.
We were just at the bar, and they had a costume contest, and they said you should enter, and all the people started chanting "Dog, dog, dog," and so I won't say repeat what I said when I pulled out the gun and pointed it at somebody. It was a toy gun.
Well, I'm gonna let Cletus read a couple things. He just walked in here. I got to go take a leak. I'll be right back.
So yeah, it was fun. Oh,
Well, how you doing, Doc?
hey, I didn't know Cletus was going to be here. I was hoping. Good. How are you?
You got a pretty damn wife. How'd you pull that off?
She must have bad eyesight.
I was gonna say, she been over there at that Blind Academy or something. Good God Almighty. Paige Harris said, "Hi, Rick. I miss you." I don't know who that is.
That's my stepdaughter.
Oh, your stepdaughter.
She's out clear out in New Mexico in Santa Fe.
Good God, is she at the border?
No, she's northern New Mexico.
Northern. Okay.
She's where it's safe. Well, relatively safe. It's still New Mexico.
Rebecca said, "Now my third cousin's aunt's fourth mother's third sister has that diabetes."
Diabetes.
Yeah, diabetes. She said, "What's the best food for a cat with diabetes?" Don't give her no chocolate. I know that. I did that with my one cat. It crapped out a Reese cup.
Diet, a low-calorie diet. They make a special one for cats and for dogs, and you can get that by prescription or get it from your vet.
Right. Well, I got a question for you.
It's called glycobalance.
Glycobalance. My dog's always walking around, and his wiener's always hanging out. They got them little gnats that always getting in the house, and it gets on the fruit, and I'm thinking I got pecker gnats all over my house. Is there anything you can do about them pecker gnats that are on a dog's wiener? How do you keep them off?
I don't know. I don't think I've seen that before, but you might want to check your dog, make sure he's okay.
I'm not going to check his wiener now. You're a vet. I'll bring him in. You check wieners, I'll bring him in. You can look at it because that thing's got them little flies all around and stuff.
Those are called no-see-ums.
No see him. I can still see him. By God, them things are all over his pecker. He lays on the front porch there. Like he ain't got no damn sense. And them pecker gnats all over. I got to walk up with a fly swatter just to get in the front door.
Some guy told me yesterday that he hangs one of those thermocells around his dog's neck. You ever seen one of those?
No.
It's a little, people use it for hunting, and you hang it. It emits a battery-operated thing. It emits a vapor that repels insects. So you might want to try that. It's called thermocell.
Thermocell. We hang it on his wiener?
Hang it around his neck.
It ain't like one of them bug zappers. You hang it on a damn wiener and the flies come up and scissors fall on the ground. Good God Almighty. I got to get out
That's a real
here.
wiener dog, isn't it?
Rebecca said, yeah, that's a wiener. You funny. I'm going to have to go and take my horse in to see you. Buckshot. Okay, well, I got to get out of here. Susie said, okay, thank you. I think man just walked in. He had a peed. He got to get in here. All right, I'm out of here. We'll see you later. Wait, let me answer one more question here. She said, I know see him. That must be one of my cousins. Well, God, I can understand her now. Rebecca. Chelsea said, hi, Rick, love you.
Chelsea, hey, Chelsea. Congratulations on the granddaughter. You look great. You're being a good mom.
Oh, you got a new grandbaby.
Yeah, that's her baby.
Well, keep that genetic pool going there, brother. We need more veterinarians. I can't believe how free your wife is. Good God Almighty.
You stay away from her.
That's pretty than all the sheep I got on the farm. My cousin.
Watch out for the sheep. Better watch out.
My cousin wanted to know if he could bring in his sheep, but he don't want nobody else to see it. Do you have a back door? He said that damn thing's ugly. Okay, what's some other questions here? I'll get to a serious question here. There ain't no more serious questions. People are laughing. What the hell's wrong with him?
Cletus really brings the crowd, doesn't he?
Yeah, he brings life to the party.
Yeah.
Somebody said, what is your office hours, and are you open on Saturday, or do you have emergency surgeries? I was going to get a colonoscopy, by the way. The vet was going, not the veterinarian, but that finger butt doctor was going to give me a colonoscopy. He said my brother had one done. It was economy colonoscopy.
What's that?
They put a hamster up his ass with a GoPro helmet on. He ain't been the same since they done that. Then they had to take that poor rat over to the hamster over to the veterinarian. He wouldn't even touch it. He said it smelled like doo-doo. But what are your office hours? Because I got to get out of here. And you open on Saturday, and do you do emergency at night? I'll talk to you guys later. I gotta go.
Okay, very nice
Bye,
to meet you,
Cletus.
Cletus. Thanks for coming by. River City Vet Hospital, our hours are 8 to 5:30, Monday through Friday, and 8 to 12 on Saturdays. If we get enough business and interest going on Saturdays, we are considering being open all day on Saturdays because we're usually there till 2 with emergencies. And speaking of emergencies, no, we don't do evenings and weekend emergencies unless it's Saturday morning. So we have you can call our number, and it will give you 3 different emergency clinics, Jacksonville and St. Augustine. St. Augustine is probably the closest, but yeah, as we get busier, we might expand into do emergency calls as well. But right now, I'm the only full-time vet, so it's kind of hard for me to work 24/7.
I don't know why Kim Peoples wrote I'm freaking nuts, but Selena just joined in. Now, so what's the other questions? So I don't want to get into too many of them. I see the one that says I'm freaking nuts. I have no idea what she's saying that. I just went out to go pee, come back, and
We all know that.
a whole bunch of laughing stuff going on.
That's the hours.
Oh, there's one up there.
Okay, yeah, put up his bio because it was really interesting what I was reading. Do we still have that? The
Yes,
one I
give me
was
2
reading
seconds.
last night.
Yes, give me 2 seconds. I'll pull it up. You have a question in there.
Okay.
Ariel.
Where?
Ariel asked, "What is your most favorite memory?" Since it's not showing up on their screen.
Favorite memory as a veterinarian?
Yes.
Oh, I'll have. Speaking of my bio, I'll have to. If Andrea's around, she'll remember this one. So, I was a tenured professor at the University of Texas, and my job was to take care of retired chimpanzees and that had been in medical research. We did mostly behavior studies, but anyway, I got an offer to go take care of all the retired chimpanzees for the Air Force, and in New Mexico. And I think it was like the first week we were there, my wife was working there as the office manager, and I'm kind of showing her and some of the office ladies around the renovations. And anyway, one of the people says, Flo is loose. It's a chimpanzee, an older chimpanzee. We said, okay, we can handle this. And, you know, chimps can get pretty big. They can be, I think we had a couple that were 220 pounds, but Flo was, you know, only 100 and something, probably 125. Anyway, she had been raised by the entertainment business, and she knew how to open doors and do things like that. And so she was up on the roof, and the technician was going around locking the doors so that she doesn't get in where the people are. And so we're watching out the window, and guy comes by, puts his key in, leaves, and then here comes Flo. She jumps down off the roof, walks by the window, and we're like, okay, we're safe. She's not going to come in here. She opened the door. It was a D-ring, actually, not even a regular doorknob. She opened it like nothing, comes strolling in, and there's me and a bunch of people, maintenance workers, took off running, locked themselves in a closet. And the office ladies, I told them, you guys leave, and Andrea and I will stay here. And so we were standing in the hallway, and here's Flo. And so Andrea had painted her toes and had open-toed sandals, and Flo walks up to her and lifts up her shirt and smells her belly, and she was about ready to faint. She said, what do I do? And I said, just hold still, don't move, because if you startle her, she might bite you. She'll grab your hand or something, bite you, so don't move. Whatever you do, don't move. So then Flo saw her painted toenails and thought that's very interesting, and she went down and was smelling her feet and licking her toes to see if the toenail polish was something. And Andrea's like, oh my God, what do I do? And I said, do not move. She might bite your foot off. And so she was really shaking, but she stood still. And then Flo came over to me, and I said, okay, Flo, come on, let's go back. And I was taking her by the hand to walk her back to where her cage was. It was a big outdoor run, actually. And I told Andrea, you leave now, get out of the hallway, because she might come back. So Andrea left, and here I am walking down the hallway with this adult female chimp. And we stop at the cooler, and the walk-in cooler, and she wanted to see what was in there. So I opened the door, and she looks in. She saw bananas. So she started walking in. She walked in, but I wasn't holding the door still, and it started to shut. And she pushed it back open and said, "Hey, you're not locking me in the cooler." I said, "Okay, I'll hold the door open for her." She grabbed a banana, sat on the floor, and ate it. When she was done, we started walking. I said, "Okay, Flo, come on, let's go. We're walking back to your pen." And we're walking by this door, and she looks down the hallway and sees her pen and says, "No, I'm not going." All of a sudden, the door opens, and I see a hand reach in with a lit cigarette and hands it to me. And it was Andrea. So I said, "What are you doing, Andrea? You know I don't smoke. I never have. I am nervous, but I'm not smoking." She says, "No, it's not for you, dummy. It's for Flo. She was raised in the circus, and she likes to smoke cigarettes." So I gave the cigarette to the chimp. She sat down and smoked most of the cigarette, threw it on the floor, and said, "Okay, she's ready to go." So I thought, this is it. She's had her food, she's had her cigarette, and now she's ready to go back. We would go walking back, and my manager was back there ready to help me get her in the cage. So it had like a gel door open to her pen, and he's standing there, and she walks up to the pen door, and he says, "Come on, Flo, let's go back inside." And she wouldn't go. She got right to the door, and so Leo turns to say to Danny, his assistant, and he yells down the hallway, "Hey, Danny, I don't think she's going to go in. We might need the dart gun." And as soon as he said dart gun, she freaked. She grabbed him by the shoelaces and went into her pen and drug him in with her by his shoelaces. He didn't weigh much more than her. She's dragging this guy into the thing, and I'm pulling on his arms, trying to pull him back out of the pen. She's trying to pull him in by his feet. And fortunately, Danny came running up with the hose, and she saw the hose and let him go. And so I pulled Leo out, and before Flo took him in the cage with her. So that's my favorite memory for at work.
For anybody listening on IITWradio.com, the time over there is about to end. So if you'll click over to Facebook, we'll probably carry it on an extra 4 or 5 minutes because I have a few questions that people are asking here that I think are important. Plus, I want to read your bios because they're pretty interesting. But if you're on radio, IITWradio.com, you'll need to click over to either Facebook, to the Putman Way, or IITW Radio on Facebook, or you can go to YouTube and type in the Putman Way and it'll bring up the show live. Jenny says, well, let me read your thing here first, because I was pretty impressed with this, and I didn't know all this, and I've known you for a little while now, but it says, Donald R. Lee Panther, a medical director. Dr. Lee is the medical director at River City Veterinary Hospital and has been a veterinarian for 30 years. He grew up working with animals on a farm in the Rocky Mountains. He's always wanted to be a medical doctor and loved animals, so being a veterinarian was a perfect career choice. He served 4 years as veterinary specialist in the U.S. Army. By the way, thank you for your service, Doc. After graduating from veterinarian school at Purdue University, that's impressive. He was a professor at the University of Texas. Roll Tide, by the way.
How come?
And contributed to improving the health of humans and animals. He has given many lectures on ways to improve the health and welfare of animals. He also owns a patent. Oop, you went scroll too fast. Patent for Primadome,
mm-hmm.
which is a large dome for monkeys and apes to live. Well, that's pretty cool. He and his wife have 3 English bulldogs named Hammy, Lexi, and Winston, and now a new grandbaby named, what's your grandbaby's name? I didn't even catch it.
Eva.
Okay. And they also have
Eva Ray.
Eva Ray? That's a pretty name. They also have a cat named Jack that goes on walks with the 3 dogs. Do you put the cat on a leash, or does it just follow?
As soon as Jack sees the dogs leaving, he just falls in line. And now we have little baby kitty, a female, that comes along with us as well. And
it says Dr. Lee is excited to help all the people in Palaca improving the health and well-being of their pets.
Yeah, Putnam County, the people have been amazing.
Let's see. Jenny says, I see you have a resort as well. What do you do there?
Great question. Thank you for that. Resort means that we have grooming, boarding, and doggy day camp. So you can drop your dog off for the day to play with other dogs, boarding for as long as you need us to take care of them for you, and the groomer is fabulous.
Now, you also have a training school, correct?
Well,
Because-
we do the behavior training at our place. It's actually an outside person who does it, but yes, on Thursday nights.
Okay. On Thursday nights, there's a certain time?
Yes, you have to sign up for the class. It's Thursday nights. I believe it it goes from 7 to 8 every Thursday night.
Jessica wrote in and says, favorite pet. What's your favorite kind of pet?
Oh, well, I love the bulldogs, any kind of bulldog. I love all dogs, but bulldogs are dear to my heart.
Okay, Jamie said, did you and your wife meet?
Oh, well, that's a long story, but basically I was the chairman of the soccer board, and she was one of the team moms or something like that, and we met at a board meeting when I was coaching soccer.
Oh, that's pretty cool. See her across the field. I have to get Cletus in to ask you about that one next time you come in because we're running out of time. Stephen wrote, if my dog has a seizure, now this is a great question because I know our dog, Honey Bun, just started having seizures and stuff. It says, if my dog has a seizure, what should I do? I don't want to get hurt, and I don't want him to get hurt, and I don't want to get hurt myself.
Yeah, no, seizures are serious, and as Honey Bun knows, we've been treating your dog. I've had a couple of weeks, and so you can give Valium. The main thing is don't stick your hand in their mouth because you will get bit. Put them on their side, keep them quiet. Try to keep them comfortable. They will get hot because the muscles get real tense and they overheat quickly. So try to find a way to keep them cool and quiet, and then they'll eventually come out of it.
Now, do you need to put a pad on? Because I remember I've read a couple times that dogs take in and lose a lot of heat through their pads. Do you take a washcloth and slap it on their forehead, or do you wet them down, or do you put it on their pads on their feet, or what's the best way to cool the dog down?
The fastest way is you can put rubbing alcohol on their feet or even on their belly, and it'll evaporate and it'll cool them off quickly. But a wet washcloth, cold pack on them, they sweat through their feet. But they have to be panting to get rid of some of their heat. And if they're having seizures, they're not panting and their muscles are all tight. So once they get to 105 degrees, it gets dangerous.
Okay, here's a great question Alexi wrote in. It says, is it true that a lot of dogs and cats get put to sleep because they hurt kids? I know kids don't know any better than to play with their lips, toes, ears, mouth, etc. So what can you do to keep the kids from getting the animals to that point?
Yeah, excellent question. They can be dangerous because they're right at eye level, and the kids need to be taught properly how to act around all animals, especially dogs. Cats are pretty smart at keeping away from you, but yeah, the kids need to be trained. You need to train your animal to not be aggressive, but the most dangerous place is the food bowl. While they're eating or sleeping, don't go and mess with them while they're asleep. So you need to teach your kids to respect them.
I mess with my dog when she's sleeping all the time. I scream squirrel, and she jumps up. She runs right into the friggin' wall. It's so funny. I need to do a YouTube thing.
You wonder why she barks at you when she's on her diet.
James says, "Hey Travis, been far too long, pal." Yeah, James, how you doing? He said in the middle of something, but just wanted to drop by and say hi. I love the flow story. Okay. April Norm says, "Hi guys, love hearing the veterinarian medicine stories. Part of the reasons I'm in the field." Desiree, also, do you deal with injured wildlife? That's a great question. Do you have people bring in like deer and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, I had somebody contact me not too long ago about a loon, and I'm like, I don't really know a lot of what I learned about birds in vet school, but I'm not a specialist in birds. I do like certain animals that are not regular pets, but anyway, the loon, we found out that they can't walk on land, and so they kind of flop around. So somebody found one flopping around. They thought it was injured, and what you have to do is you have to put them in water so that they can take off. They can't just take off from land. So if a loon's on the beach, they're in trouble. And so I learn a lot of little tidbits like that, but generally I leave it up to the specialists. They have people who rescue animals, and they know better about that kind of stuff than I do. But there are exotic vets in big cities that will treat those reptiles and birds.
Angela wrote in and says, do you need volunteers?
We're trying to get a volunteer program to help with the doggy day camp or walking the dogs, especially on the weekends. So please feel free to contact our office. It's 386-328-9616 and ask for our manager, and she can explain to you how our volunteer program works.
Okay, Desiree wrote in, and this is a good question here. Gloria just joined in. How you doing, Gloria? Desiree wrote, okay, serious question. I lost my 9-year-old teacup chinchilla to pyromethrin. Or Chihuahua. Chinchilla.
Chinchilla. They die too.
I thought that was... Oh, my God.
Are you wearing Cletus's glasses?
I think so. My glasses are all... I'm just at the point of being too close but far away. Never heard of until she passed away from it. What age females are too old to be spayed or prevent this?
Well, that's a great question, and that is very dangerous. People go, oh, well, I don't need to get my Chihuahua spayed because she's over 8 years old and she's not going to get pregnant. Well, she still has the hormones. She still goes through heat, and she can have a false pregnancy, which could lead to a pyometra. So also mammary tumors and things like that. There's so many reasons to get your animals spayed and neutered no matter what the age.
These are bios of others.
I'm going to try to get through these next questions.
Also, we have. I think
Why don't you read this one right here?
No. That is the description of the people at their office, the doggy day camp. That's what that is.
Okay.
And that one's also their groomer and their techs.
Gloria wrote, awesome. I don't know. Does
Ryan.
it say Chinchilla D. Cruz? It's blurry.
No, you're under Ryan.
Chiquita Cruz is our manager.
See us blurred at the... I don't know if you can see over the top.
I-
Raise it back up there.
Yeah,
again.
I can't read it either.
See where it's blurred? I thought it said Chinchilla
That's
Chews.
Angie's fault.
Right.
I thought it said Chinchilla Chews, and I was like, what's Chinchilla chewing here? Okay, never mind. Ryan writes in...
Chinchilla choose, Charleston choose.
Now, this is a good question, and I know the answer to it, but I'm going to let you answer it because I just had a show on this not long ago. Is it true that my dog drinking salt water at the beach will kill my dog? And if so, what can I do about it?
Well, obviously, salt water is not good for people or animals to drink. Probably won't kill them. It would have to drink a lot of it, but if you're out there all day long, you got to have fresh water for them. So, yeah, I guess if they drink enough of them, the salt water, it could kill them, but you need to carry a jug with you and give them fresh water because it's going to be pretty hot out there.
Okay. Well, we're going to cut it off right there. So anybody else is sending in questions, you can go and do you have a website that they can contact you on to ask you any more questions? They don't send them any stupid questions, but I do have one last question I'm going to answer that I saw up there a while ago. Do boy dogs get testicular cancer, and what is pyometra?
Good question. Both of those. Pyometra is a basically an infection in the uterus, and it usually happens after they've had puppies or something. Some bacteria gets going in the uterus, and very dangerous. It will kill a female if it's not treated immediately. Any questions, you can email me at drlee@vitalpet.com. It's dr.lee@vitalpet.com. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you want to send me.
Okay. And the last question that I saw up there before.
Okay, yeah, no.
Chris is going to put up the link there on the screen here in a second. It's already up there, River City Veterinary Hospital, but he'll put up the www.valuepet at River City Services. Somebody had written in, and I saw this before we get off the air, which is I think is a great question. What is the best way to trim your dog's toenails, and what happens if you cut them too short?
And we deal with that all the time. obviously you can do it at home. If the nails get too long, they not only the blood vessel inside the nail grows long, and it can curl all the way around and dig into the pad, so it could be very dangerous. Also, if it's too long, they can't walk properly, or they'll hang it up on the carpet or on something and tear the toenail off. So really important to keep the nails trimmed. On the light colored ones, you can actually see where the vessel is inside of it and just go a little bit beyond that. The ones that are black nails, they're the hardest ones. So if you're not sure, just take the tip off of it and take it into a groomer or to the veterinarian, and we can get them trimmed back to the normal length.
Now, if you guys and gals go on to the Putman Way and go underneath this post, you'll see that you can Dr. Lee's email address there. And if you have questions, serious questions, don't call him up and say my dog sat on a Fruit Loop and I need to know when he farts if it's whistling. Of course, it's going to whistle. But you can send him some serious questions and ask him, or go in and see him. You're a wonderful vet. And thank you so much for coming to Putman County. I mean, I know we have some other good veterinarians in the county. Rebecca says, thanks, Doc, for taking time out of your day with the people of Putman County. And that's exactly where I'll leave it at. That's the best in closing statement. And Debbie Howell wrote in, thanks for all the info tonight. I've learned a lot. Well, I know I have. I think Cletus learned some stuff too. But anyways, I want to thank you for your service, not only as a veteran and a vet, but also for coming to Putman County. And yeah, you're a vet. Veterinarian vet. And say that 10 times, you'll win a bologna sandwich. Anyways, I want to thank you for coming in tonight, and we're going to try to get you in. And also, I think you're going to be doing some articles and doing some videos here in the future. For us, what's this?
The logo.
Well, thank you, Travis, for having me. It's been an honor and a privilege to be here with you and Angie and the crew. Be glad to come back anytime.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and we're going to let you go, and thank you for coming in. All right, guys and gals, that was Dr. Lee of River City Veterinary Hospital and Resort and stuff. If you need a great veteran, not only that, the guy's a good vet, but he's funny as hell, too. And as you can see, he's down to earth, and he does care about animals, and he loves them. Coming up, we have heat. I mean, just ungodly heat during the summertime. But even when it's like it's 77 today, just because it's nice outside and there's a breeze, the heat inside your car can get up to 120, 30 degrees. Rebecca wrote, Cletus needs a dock all of its own. Cletus will be back in here on Friday night. And we have a guest, the article that I written the other day about the homeless lady in Palaca that got booted out of the apartment. One of her relatives wants to come on and clear the air about it. So you guys will want to stay tuned. It should be a great show. We don't try to roast anybody or make anybody look bad on IITW radio or the Putman Way. But remember your animals. If you're using a chain and keeping your dog chained up outside, shame on you. But if you do have an animal like that, please make sure that you have plenty of water, especially in the summertime, and make sure the shade. Animals should be a part of your life, not a part of your landscape. So make sure you bring those animals in. Give them love and show them some kindness. I want to thank all of our first responders for all that they do, our volunteer firefighters, our sheriff's department. When you see these guys and gals out in the neighborhoods, stop and thank them. Don't tell your kids, hey, if you don't behave, I'm going to call the cops on you. Know, all that does is create fear. What you need to do is walk up and have an officer flip on their siren. I know a lot of the cops in Putman County, they love to do that stuff for the kids, and the kids love it. But if you see a veteran or a young person in the military that's in their fatigues in a store, or an old man like myself that has veteran served in the service, walk up and thank them for their service. Don't be an asshole. These people fought, and a lot of them lost their lives for you, and you don't know what it's like staying in a jungle or having bullets fly over your head, any of that crap, until you've been in that situation. So make sure you do that. Also, if you haven't voted, voting is going to be coming up this year. Make sure if you're a convicted criminal, as long as you didn't create murder or child molest and it wasn't violent, you didn't rob a damn bank, your rights have been restored. You can still go and vote. Make sure you exercise that right. I want to thank you guys for coming on. We'll be back here Friday night with What's Pissing Me Off, and I got a special guest coming in Friday night after this young lady gets off the phone. We love you guys. I got to give my shout outs to Mama B, Miss Debbie, Tammy, my partner in crime at Putman Way. She's always doing a great job. You need to swing over there, check out local news, Rex, everything else is going on. I want to thank Dr. Lee and his beautiful wife who's up there taking care of their grandbaby. Congratulations. Say hi, Chris. There's Mr. Han. Marie. Hi. Hobbit.
How you doing, y'all?
All right, be quiet and go back to sleep. All right, we love you guys. We'll see you back here Friday night, closing out the show right now. Listen to this song. It's a great song. It's Struggling One by Demons by Kurt Fortmeyer. Opening up the show was Take It to the Breakdown by Stars in Toledo. Make sure to look at the advertising crawling across the screen there, even after the show, during the show, before the show. Support your local businesses. Stay off of Amazon if you can. All these other sites. Support your local businesses and make this county what it should be. I'm out.
I'd been that good guy way too long, followed every rule, holding back instead of acting like a full-grown fool. When bad intentions came to call, I firmly stood my ground, till one day I said, screw it all, and I turned my life around. Yeah, I told my better angels they could go piss up a road, not come back unless they brought a sack of killer dope. I'm smoking packs of cigarettes and drinking quarts of beer, snuggling with my demons, and I kinda like it here. Now everything that's bad for me becomes my comfort food, and from time to time I take a pill to elevate my mood. I'm coveting my neighbor's ass and things that I can't have. I bathe myself in misery like it's medicated sad. Since I told my better angel